Good evening, everyone. And thank you for coming to tonight's Writers Bloc program featuring Andy Cohen and SARAH SILVERMAN. I'm Andrea Grossman, the founder of Writers Bloc, now in our 19th season. Thank you. Bravo to Bravo, which is live streaming this event. I want to thank all of you for being here tonight. You could, after all, be at home watching Secrets Revealed on Real Housewives of New Jersey at this very moment. But instead, you fought LA traffic and found parking. Secrets revealed, indeed. Before we get to tonight's program, I want to acknowledge the many people in the audience who have come to this event from all over Southern California and from other states just to see Andy and SARAH tonight. Thanks to all the folks at Bravo and here at the Montalban for making this program possible. If you're not yet on the Writers Bloc email list, visit writersblocpresents.com. Upcoming programs include Richard Lewis with Larry Charles, Candace Bergen, novelist Kazuo Ishiguro, Michael Connolly, and so many more. writersblocpresents.com. Now for tonight. 3 things that I'm obsessed with, people, are making sure you remember to turn your cell phones back on after the program. 2, buying many copies of Andy's terrific new book, The Andy Cohen Diaries, a deep look at a shallow year, and having him sign all of them for you. And 3, reminding you that the holidays are here and copies of this book spread the cheer a lot better than fruitcakes do. Similar to Andy Warhol, the model for his diaries, Andy not only chronicles pop culture, he generates it. His new book treats us to a glimpse of his year, from the drama and trauma of the Housewives to personal reflections about his parents, dating, and his challenges with his dog, to some of the pretty hilarious moments behind Watch What Happens Live. Celebrities and sublebrities abound. No surprise, folks, it's pretty funny. All this from a Peabody Award-winning documentary maker and former news producer. Like Andy, SARAH SILVERMAN wears her heart and her politics on her sleeve. Her satire is provocative and unforgettable and teeters on the edge of every comfort zone we have. She brings race, sexism, religion, and every other hot button into her conversation and makes all of those issues just really funny. No one summons the political correctness police quite as quickly as SARAH. She just won another Emmy for her great and hilarious HBO special, We Are Miracles. It's available now at stores near you and wherever iTunes are sold. So here's what's going to happen tonight. Andy and SARAH will chat. After they're through, there'll be time for a few questions from the mics here on the floor. They were on the floor a little bit ago. You might also have noticed a big wooden shot ski out in front. So your lucky number might be called. At some point, Andy will reach into the shot ski bucket and could very well call your ticket number, so have it handy. Remember, the holidays are here right now. So is Andy, who will sign copies of the Andy Cohen Diaries following the program. And I urge you to take full advantage of him tonight with as many books as you can carry. He wants them gone, gone, gone. So ladies and gentlemen, Andy Cohen and SARAH SILVERMAN.
Isn't he something else? Andy Cohen, everybody.
Thank you for coming. Hello. Photos are permitted.
I'm doing this.
You're the host.
This
I am drinking tequila. You approve. You like me a little drunk.
Oh my God, how do you deal with, I don't want to deal with your hecklers the way I deal with my hecklers because I'm
we have to be nice
meaner.
to my hecklers.
Yeah, yes,
no.
Shotsky.
Yes, oh, Sarah.
Wednesday.
Sarah
Woo,
wants to
Jimmy
eviscerate
Fallon.
you, but she's not going to.
Yeah.
Yes, these are my people.
I have a subtle rage, but
Right.
this is how this is.
Yes. The word of the night is
Ooh.
book.
I wrote an intro because I didn't know if I was supposed to introduce Andy. So, I like every shit I take to have its time. So, I'll read it because I want Andy to hear it. And when I started reading it backstage, everything went quiet, and Andy was like, "That's pretty okay." Andy Cohen grew up in St. Louis with dreams of moving to New York City and living a life saturated in pop culture. Come on, Sarah. He moved to New York City and began interning at CBS News, clutching the Warhol Diaries, and little by little, making his dreams come true. Author of the Andy Cohen Diaries, a deep look at a shallow year, please welcome author, host, producer, raconteur, and professional liver of life, Andy Cohen.
Thank you.
Isn't that good?
Thank you. That was great.
Yeah, this book was so fun to read and experience. I read it, I listened to it in my ears when I was not able to read. I'm not able to read. It's like living vicariously through a man who lives vicariously through the greatest people, the most interesting people, and you are one of them, even though you act like you're on the side looking. You're interesting because you're interested. Could I say that?
Thank you. I am interested. I'm a celebrant. And I think my 10 years at CBS News made me look through the world with a little bit of a reporter's or an observationalist eye. So I think I always am the guy who's kind of observing and noticing the weird, awkward details, and those are the details that I love the most, and those are the ones that I put in the book.
Yeah, you see what's fantastic about things that people do not see necessarily as fantastic. And it's funny because you talk about an epiphany you had on Whoopi Goldberg's vape pen when you were at Howard Stern's birthday bash.
I did. Whoopi Goldberg gave me the best. Every time she comes on the show, she brings me a vape pen or some edibles.
Backstage, I had a vape pen experience with her.
You did backstage of The View?
No.
Oh, backstage at
Howard's.
Howard's thing.
And because I had a question I had to ask her, and I didn't know if it was rude, because when people ask you questions and it's not really about you, it's about like, what was it like to work with blah, 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 and you're like,
right.
So, but I had to ask, and I go, please don't get mad at this. I don't know if this is an appropriate question, but, oh fuck, I can't think of his name now. She dated him, a great actor. Frank Langella.
Yeah, they all said Ted Danson.
No, but you said Ted
Frank
Danson,
Langella.
and it triggered what I was really asking. We know
My
Ted
people.
Danson's awesome.
Thank you.
We both talked exactly. I have no
it.
idea what you said, but I'm sure it was great. And I go, Frank Langella, tell me. What, I didn't have a specific question. I just wanted to know, because I know they dated. And she goes, he's a grade A asshole. I go, yeah, that's what I heard, but you guys dated. And she goes, I'm weak. I love great actors. I couldn't believe he was into me. And it was so honest and great. Okay, back to you. Sorry. I'm used to being center of.
So I had this revelation on the vape pen at Howard Stern's birthday party, and what I realized, I'm a huge Howard Stern show fan, and you are, and you're so good on that show, and yes. And I realized as I was sitting there, and the night for me was more exciting than kind of the Golden Globes or any big Hollywood event. I just thought it was incredible, and you were there, and it was amazing. And I realized, wow, if there's a show out there that I would want to align mine with, Watch What Happens Live, it would be the Howard Stern Show. And I think that the model is there because the Housewives are my whack pack, and They are my bread and butter, and they're 2 nights a week, and we go heavy, and we go strong, and we go crazy. And then the other 3 nights a week, we have SARAH SILVERMAN or Meryl Streep or Cher or whoever else.
That epiphany was an epiphany for me when I heard you say that on Howard Stern, and then I read it in the book. It's so true. I mean, because the thing about the Whack Pack for Howard and for you is that there are these fringe people that only use, like, through you, we see how they're special and amazing and fascinating and interesting. But you truly care for them. It's not, and the only difference is, like, your Whack Pack is extremely wealthy.
Yes.
It's like Howard's is basically living on
nothing.
Yeah.
Yes, Doritos.
But and that's another question is that the Housewives are rich.
Right.
Are they?
Well, usually when they're cast, they are usually affluent. And then, what's happened to them is it's kind of a weird mirror of part of society where some of them have foreclosed or gone broke or, struggled. And so I think you've seen them go up and down. I think OC is the one that's kind of had the most kind of eviction notice and
it's bizarre because it's like, this is how the other half lives, and they are rich, but then there's all this bankruptcy and jail. Is that just because a lot of rich people go through that and we're seeing it? Or is it because
it's
there's
very common among
doing
rich
something
people.
to them?
Very common among rich people.
I don't know.
Yes.
And
yes.
Does Bravo ever pay for, like, Kyle's white party or, like,
No.
any of it?
Kyle,
Don't you wanna know?
Kyle, it's so funny. I was looking at that white party, and I saw specifically the flamethrower the other night. I was like, wow, Kyle went all out. Yeah, we're not going all out on Kyle's. No, they're not.
Nothing.
Did you love the interactions in the book that I have with all the housewives and all the housewives' husbands?
I mean, even like it's like because you take everything, just like Howard will treat Barbara Walters the same way that he treats Tan Mom.
Right.
Like both of them with
Yes.
thorough interviews
Yes.
and I love that he calls her husband Tan Dad.
I know.
But you'll be like, oh, who was it? Was it Sonia? I think it was Sonia. Sonia wants to take the going commando line out because she's a businesswoman and it's hurting her deals. Like, I love that conversation. You didn't make fun of it. You just said exactly
This is what's happening today. It's funny because I kept a top secret diary for a year and then I published it, is what this book is. And so I really, there'll be a day where I'm like, oh my God, all hell broke out today in Jersey and Atlanta. And then I kind of say what happened, and it's always some random weird shit that's going on, but it is serious when it's happening.
And it's amazing because this book is so fun, and when it's over, you're just like, but what about tomorrow? And what about the next day? And you're just, I need my Andy, I need my story. It's like, and it's so neat to see that his best friends are like Kelly Ripa and Sarah SJP and Sandra and Sarah and all these names that recur because they're part of his daily life. And but also it'll be like, had lunch with Lisa Vanderpump and we had fun, these people aren't a joke to you.
No.
And that's what makes it okay, and that's the same, it is so parallel with Howard because you have the utmost respect for these people. You have love for them. But they are your Whack Pack, 100%.
Yes, they absolutely are.
It's amazing. And one thing I noticed was the book ends, and every day towards the end, you're worried about Joan Rivers, and she's in, and it actually 3 days after the book ends, she passed away.
She passed away, yeah.
And I know you had something planned with her.
Yes, it's weird how much Joan came up in the summer. I was developing a show with she and a buddy of mine, Michael Rourke. We developed a show for her called What's Your Problem, where it was kind of a Judge Judy type show where Joan would be passing judgment on people with kind of housewives-like problems, like, you ruined my daughter's bat mitzvah, or whatever, and then she would hear the case, and then she would rule on a verdict, you know, it's you, whatever. And it was so up Joan's alley. I mean, it was like she got, you know, it was immediately perfect. And we were going around pitching that show. And
Gross.
she had been on my show 3 weeks before she passed away. I saw her at a wedding in early August, and then yeah, it's weird. There are moments that happen through the book that are just kind of weird moments that I had through the year, as you do, that wind up touching you in a really weird way and kind of teaching you about life or, you know, the sadness of it. And Joan certainly was one, and she was someone that I never took for granted as having a relationship with and being in my life. I loved her.
I think Liza said it best in your book, which was, you know, I don't want to live in a world where there's no Joan Rivers.
That's
I just
right.
misquoted it.
That's right.
I don't
No,
want
you
to
quoted it
live in a
right.
world without Joan Rivers.
Yes, you quoted it right.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Let's kill ourselves. How is that day for you when you should know? Am I harping on Joan Rivers too much?
No, you're good. How's what?
The day you found out, was that?
Oh, it was so sad. Well, I really felt like the day that it came out that she had this thing and she had stopped breathing, I thought, this is the end. For that week where they were saying, oh, she's stable, I thought, she's gone.
No, that's
Seemed
smart.
like,
I was like, she's gonna pull through. She's Joan. So I
Right,
was just
right.
like, what? You joined Tinder while you were
I
on the
did. I
book.
joined Tinder while I was writing the book. I joined Tinder, and so there's a big Bridget Jones element to the book. It's a little Andy Warhol. It's a little Bridget Jones Diaries, and so I love dating stories, and I include my own on Tinder. But Tinder's fun. I mean, I always kind of wind up dating people who are wildly inappropriate for me, usually age-wise, but they're certainly good stories.
Yeah, whatever happened to, oh, never mind. The guy who was really cute who had like gay dads your age, and you were like,
Oh, that was a kid that I met, a kid.
I know.
No, but this is right. My friend Dave Wacha is here in the audience, and I was at his wedding in New Orleans, and I'm sure he doesn't know this story, but I took a walk in the French Quarter that day, and I met this very cute cheerleader. I love a male cheerleader. And I got in this long talk with him, and he said, oh yeah, I'm going to meet my gay dad and his partner to go to the gym with them. And I was like, wait, what's happening? Like, this is amazing. And I'm like, I need to hear more. And we wound up going and getting tea together. And I was thinking, this is so bad. This guy's dads would be killing me right now because the dads are who I should be talking to, of course. Anyway, nothing happened, but it was a fascinating day.
You have a love in your life, and it has 4 legs.
Wacha. Yes, I do.
Do you think this is keeping you from human
Contact?
love?
It may actually. The book is, I mean, really, if it is, it's a love story between me and the dog. And I got him about 6 weeks into writing the book, and it was one of those things where I go to meet him after I had seen his picture. It's like Tinder. It's like Dinder. Tinder for dogs, Dinder. And I had seen his picture online, and then we went to have our date. And I brought with me my ex-boyfriend, and I met Wacha, and I just thought, I was like, oh no, this dog is too big, and he's too sheddy, and he's licking me, and he's popping a boner all the time. And I was like, there's only one boner in this house, you know? And so I was like, it's too much. And my ex said, I know exactly what you're doing right now. You are running from commitment. And I go, I don't think I'm taking him. Like, I can't take this dog. And he goes, no, you are taking this dog. And he made me take him. And that night, I was like, I love you. This is it. We turned on the Cardinal game because they were in the playoffs. And because I'm so butch. And Wacha, and the dog had to pee, I guess. And he went and he got his leash and he brought it over to me. And I was like, oh my God, you're trying to make this work. You know, like, you want to make this work. And I was like, oh my God. And that night, and the name comes from the pitcher, Michael Wacha, was pitching that night. And everyone in St. Louis was like, Wacha. And they were trending on Twitter, was Wacha. And I was like, I think that's a good name for you. So I named him that. And Joe Kelly is here. He was a pitcher for the Cardinals, and he now is a Red Sox pitcher. And he told me before the show, that he told me before tonight that he affirmed to me what I was scared of, which is that Michael Wacha is actually super creeped out by me and by me, like, going on shows and calling this dog, like, and the Instagram thing. And so I need to really hear that, Joe, about how bad it is.
It's not his, it's yours.
Yes, exactly.
Lady Gaga came on your show, and she used your trash can for a bathroom.
Yes, she did. Lady Gaga was on. There was smoke coming out of her dressing room. She came out, and I said, hey. And she goes, sorry about the smoke. And I said, no problem. And I go, you're not the first person to smoke back there. And she goes, but am I the first person to pee in the trash can? And I said, well, you may be. And then I turned to our fantastic, who's now been promoted, was a PA at the time. He wasn't promoted for this, but I turned to Ryan King and I said, you need to go get Gaga's pee and put it in a pretty container and put it in the clubhouse. It's a piece of pop culture memorabilia. And so, because that's how I think. And so then he did, and 2 days later he said, Lady Gaga's pee, I have bad news. Lady Gaga's pee is going to get toxic. And I said, oh my God, what is wrong with Lady Gaga that her pee is gonna, and he goes, no, it's not a Gaga thing, that's what happens to pee. But the good news is, and this is why I love my PAs, and this is so WWHL, he goes, but I found a recipe online where you can turn urine into perfume. And I was thinking that I would do it, and I was like, you are amazing. And maybe I inappropriately hugged him, and I said, go do it, kid. And he did it, and it's in this really amazing, like, container, and it's right behind, if you watch the show, it's right behind the guest that is sitting next to me. You can see this pretty container, and like Johnny Knoxville was on, and I sprayed him with it. And so your next question is gonna be, what does it smell like? And it smells like kind of dressed up pee with a floral note. And that's that story.
Good for her for using a trash can. Because I do always, when I can't use the bathroom, I like to use some kind of wide-mouthed container, like a Snapple bottle.
Oh, Snapple bottle?
Yeah.
Can you make it into a Snapple bottle?
Make what into a Snapple bottle?
Can you pee into a Snapple bottle?
Yeah.
You can. Wow.
Well, a Snapple bottle has a wide mouth.
No, yes, it does. Yes.
She didn't use the bathroom because there's only one bathroom for everybody.
Are you
on your staff?
There is, and I did have a moment, and it's early in the book, where here's the deal. I'm just gonna put this out there, and I feel like we all know each other really well at this point. But I don't poop at work, okay? It's not my thing. I don't poo at work ever. Not at Bravo, not at Watch What Happens Live. That's not
Isn't that a saying? Don't shit where you work?
Yes, it is. Yes, it basically is. Yes. And especially since I don't, like, so we do share our bathroom with our audience, and I just feel like if I was at Jimmy Fallon's show and Jimmy came out of the stall before the show, I would be like, every time I watch Jimmy's show, I would think of him. That's what I would think of. And so it was our 500th episode, and I got to the show, and they were serving breakfast for dinner, which is, I mean, everybody loves breakfast for dinner, right? And so, but you know what happens when you eat breakfast for dinner? And so I really had to go, and it was so bad, and it was our 500th episode with Gloria Estefan and Sean Kingston, awkward duo. And I was gonna do a sexy Latin dance. She was gonna teach me how to do it. And I was like, oh God, I have to do this sexy Latin dance. And a chart would render this not sexy. And then to celebrate our 500th episode, the gay shark was gonna come out and we were gonna do a conga line because it was Gloria Estefan. And again, I was like, you in danger, girl. Like, this is so bad. So I basically, if you watch the footage, and I'm sure you will never see it again, I have my legs up in a clench for the entire show. It's so bad. And then the hilarious little button to the story, I sound like Valerie Cherish, is that what's the button? Oh, the button is that I came to work the next day and someone on our team, which is why I love my show, also miscounted. And it was actually like our 480th show. It wasn't even our, so we didn't need to do the conga.
Everybody
I think
knows
that's
that
funny.
if you need to poop and you're not at home, you find a nearby hotel lobby.
That is true. That is true. That's a trick of New Yorkers, too.
Or like the Mercer Hotel restaurant.
That's very good,
They
too.
have singles, and you just act like you're meeting friends and
Yeah.
go, I'll go to the bathroom. We're shopping in Soho. Speaking of the comeback, you made an appearance in the first episode of The Comeback's Comeback.
I did. That is true. Thank
As
you.
well, you talk about it in the book.
I
Very
do.
exciting.
It's in the book. There's an entry where I get the call from Lisa Kudrow and Michael Patrick King. That show is my favorite. I love it so much. Your sister is so brilliant on it, and I loved the whole Jane episode Jane, cut Jane. Can't use it. Can't use. I love it at the beginning of the premiere when she's like, "That's the bummer. Can't talk on camera." Anyway, I could do comeback lines all night, and there's only 4 of you who are enjoying it, so I'm going to stop. But anyway, I played myself on the comeback, and it
Oh
was
my
one of
God.
the great days. Yes.
I'm sorry.
No.
You should have a Watch What Happens Live post-comeback show that
With
has
Valerie.
like, yes.
I've already asked Lisa Kudrow like 18 times, and
You'd have to come to LA, and then that doesn't
well,
work.
she was on my show 2 weeks ago, and I said, "Bring the wig, let's do this," and she didn't have time, but I'm trying to make it happen.
I mean, Valerie Cherish has got to be on Watch What Happens
It makes
Live.
so much sense. I agree.
Okay, sorry. Anyway, I thought that was an incredible idea.
yes.
And it was.
Yes.
And you had it.
Yes, it's fine. It lives in both of us.
It does live in both of us. You were in Gaga's video, GUI.
I was.
And you did something terrible?
I was in Gaga's video. It was a weird year, I have to tell you. So I played Zeus in Lady Gaga's music video, and I was there, and I kept thinking, this isn't gonna be a big deal, whatever. Gaga's not even gonna be there. They're shooting me in front of a green screen. And I get there, and they're like, "Oh, LG will be in a minute." And I'm like, LG is here? And that's what we call her? And she came in, and she had an Anthrax t-shirt on and a leather jacket and a do-rag. And she said, she was kind of prepping me, and she goes, "Oh, you also need to know this other song because we're going to mix it in, and you need to have heard it. Do you know it?" And I go, "No." And she goes, "Here, give me your phone. I'll find it." And she goes into my iTunes, and she goes, "Oh, where's Art Pop?" And I hadn't downloaded the album. It was so, there are so many awkward fucking moments in this book, and I am the butt of every joke in it. And I was like, I had downloaded Applause. That was the only song. It was so bad. She was like, "Oh, okay. No, that's fine. That's fine." Like,
Oh, that was the only Gaga song you had on your whole phone.
yes,
Applause.
yes. But I
And
love,
you thought it was just like a sound effects of applause.
Yeah, right. Yeah, which I need, which I try. When I go to airports, I like to be applauded in my ears. It's just what I do.
There is a studio audience app that is incredible that you'll be addicted to.
Really? Well, one of my favorite things we do on Watch What Happens Live, which is, there's a lot of them, but sometimes we sitcomify scenes from the Housewives, and we just add a laugh track, and we add like, ooh, and it's so perfect. It's amazing.
You put your foot in your mouth several times. I think maybe being around the Housewives where you're kind of Teflon is not good practice for when you're around, I'm gonna say it, real people.
Right. That's true.
So let's see, Barbara Walters for one, you were on The View.
That
Go
was a
on.
bad one. I was co-hosting The View, and the backstory is that my mother, who's really the best character in the whole book besides my doorman surfing.
Why does she
Thank
hate
you.
real time?
Oh no, she loves, my mom is so funny. She loves Real Time with Bill Maher, but she thinks that I am intellectually inferior and will not be able to keep up with the dialogue on, because she reveres Bill Maher as one of the great minds, and he's amazing. But my mom Skypes me once every 2 months and is like, listen, I gotta talk to you. I've been up half the night. I beg you, do not go on Bill Maher. And I'm like, Mom, once again, there's no offer. I do not have a firm offer to go on Bill Maher. This is not happening. And then I kind of get into it with her, and I'm like, what is your fear about me going on? She's like, you can't keep up. You can't keep up. She goes, I don't think you're dumb, but it gets really... And I'm like, so on April Fools of this year, and I love playing pranks on my mom. If you read my first book, there's 30-page incredible prank that my friend Graciela and I played on her, where I convinced her that I was convinced that I was of Shawnee Indian descent. It's a long story, but it took place over a year of my life. The poor woman. So anyway, on April Fool's this year, the day before I texted her, I go, oh, you'll never believe who called me. Let's talk tomorrow. And she's like, great. So the next day, she Skypes me, which is our mode of communication. And she goes, so who came out? Who came out? Because she always thinks someone came out. If that's my news, it's like, who's gay? I told you they were gay. She's ready. And so I go, no one came out. Guess what? I'm going on Bill Maher. She's like, no! When? And I'm like, no, it's a week from Sunday, and they were gonna be in Europe. And she goes, well, thank God I'll be out of the country. I mean, what are you talking about? I'm like, gay stuff. She's like, what do you mean gay stuff? Do you know the gay? Anyway, I was like, no, I'm just kidding. But the button of that story is that we were at that wedding this summer, and Joan Rivers was there, and we got a great open mic with Joan, which I write about in the book. And I said, and my mom goes, can I ask you a question? Do you think that he should go on Bill Maher? And Joan said, she's like, it's really tough. She goes, I don't know. She goes, I'm scared to go on Bill Maher. And Joan, as you know, was so well-read. And so she's like, I would be scared. And my mom's like, see? So now, I mean, if they ever asked, I just can't now in the memory of Joan. But your original question was about my...
Barbara.
Barbara. Sorry.
We're gonna digress.
I digress.
That's just part of it.
I'm whipping myself up into a frenzy. So Barbara, my mother had called the week before and said, we didn't get American Hustle. Your father and I didn't get it. And I was like, okay, fine. You didn't get it. That's fine. So then she goes... So then I'm co-hosting The View. It's the day after the Golden Globes, and there's a whole pre-story about my time with Whoopi in the dressing room, and I got to see Barbara Walters with her hair wet, which was really exciting. And then Barbara said, I didn't understand American Hustle. And I said, sorry, that's so bad. And I said, well, maybe it's a generational thing. Which was exactly the wrong thing to say.
And yet,
on live
the
TV.
honest, straight-up truth.
Right. And Sherry looked at me and was like, you in danger, girl. Like, it was so bad. Or actually, Whoopi would have said that. It's Whoopi's eyes kind of went out. It was so bad. And then a minute and a half later, we went to commercial, and the camera, like, swoops around the Hot Topics table 4 times in a frenzy. And they're like, coming up next, Queen Latifah, whatever. And Barbara turned to me and gave me this look and said, how dare you offend me on my own show? And I said, I am so sorry. I said, and by the way, I love Barbara Walters, and I'm not, and I go, I would never, are you kidding? And my mom, and this, and that, and there's a shot in the book of her giving me the hand. And I'm like, oh, go. And that was on TV, and my Twitter went nuts, and everyone's like, what did you do? What happened? It was, and it goes on from there. It's amazing.
But the interesting thing is, Barbara and your mother, but especially Barbara, was like doing coke off of dicks in the 70s. Like, she should have, shouldn't she?
Wait, was my mother
I say that figuratively. I don't have proof, but She was there. She was fully
Right.
fully
Oh,
there.
in the American Hustle moment. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she was. Was my mother? You said my
Well,
mom, too.
I don't know your mom.
Right, she wasn't.
She was not doing coke off of dicks, but she was in the 70s.
Yes, she was. Anyway.
Whoa, I just
I
found
know.
your threshold.
I know. See, everybody has a line.
Everybody has a line. Yeah.
Right.
No, there's no way to know somebody's line until you cross it.
I know.
I crossed Barbara Walters once.
You
if
did?
I
What
may.
happened?
It was at Howard Stern's wedding, and I was going out to smoke a joint with, I think I can say, Mary McCormick and some others. And as I passed Barbara Walters' table, I went, I'm going outside to smoke a joint, like that, like in her, like that to her, because I know she's, you know, she's cool, and she had the greatest comeback with literally not even a beat went by, and she just went, your mothers must be so proud. It was so
That's so
fast.
good.
It was, she shut me down.
Do you know the first time I ever met you? The first time I met you, it was so quick. It was at the Webby Awards, which were at Cipriani downtown.
Oh.
And I went outside for a second to look on my phone, probably. And you were there, and you said, do you want to, you gave me your roach. And you went back inside, and I was like, she is the coolest person.
I am so giving. I gave
Yes.
you what I was going to throw away.
Yes. One man's trash is another's treasure. I mean,
I'm a stern believer of that.
Yes.
So many boyfriends have been that. But I remember that night because it was very important for me to get my hands on some pot and get very stoned at this thing. And I called this is back in the day before vape pens. And I called my New York City guy who like drives to where you are and was like waiting on a corner, got in his car.
It's so analog. Can you believe we ever
So
existed in this
analog.
moment?
That was really exciting, and I lost my place. I love the things that repeat and come up, not repeat, but like that are just come up, you know, organically and repeat in your life. Like you bumped into Patty Smythe and John McEnroe a few times, and every time you notice that he's wearing Bjorn Borg underwear.
Yeah, I love that you picked. I love
that.
detail. Yeah, yeah. I was at a party. I was at a party at Janie Buffett's house, who's so cool. Do you know her?
No.
Oh my God, Jimmy Buffett's wife. She's the coolest person on the planet. And John McEnroe was there, and he was telling me and a couple of people that he wears Bjorn Borg underwear, which I think is maybe the most ironic, amazing little factoid ever, that John McEnroe is wearing Bjorn Borg underwear. I think it's interesting. And so every time I see him, which it turns out I guess I did 3 or 4 times last year, I'm like, are you wearing Bjorn Borg? And I have him, and he shows me the band. And he's like, yeah, last time I saw him, he goes, I'm running out, actually. He goes, and Bjorn, he's really hard to get a hold of. Like, I need more. I'm like, just email him at bjorn@bjornborg.swe or something.
That brings up so many things for me.
I know.
First of all, why does he need to get I don't call Calvin Klein or like Steve Gap
I know, but where do
to
they
get my
sell
underwear.
Bjorn Borg underwear? Where do they sell it?
Does he make it by hand? Two, how do you run low on underwear?
That's so funny. That's true. I never thought about that.
And then, yeah, I thought of a third thing, but I don't remember
Run
now.
low on underwear. It's true.
Thought of a third thing that I was excited about, but it went out of my brain. What does this say? You have done the circuit. You know every talk show host there is. You've interacted with all of them. Is there any kind of like commonality that you see? Why are you laughing
I don't know, I'm just smiling at you. I like you. I think you're cute.
I feel the same.
Thank you.
I feel the same. I was so excited to do this.
Yeah, what's wild is, Am I schwitzing? I have a schwitzing.
No, that's
Yes?
another
No?
thing in the book
Oh,
is
okay.
you're so on it. You're just like, I hope I don't sweat too much when
Well, because, you know,
Will
it's
Ferrell's on.
Right.
Yeah.
There's, you know, you really, if you like Watch What Happens Live in the book, you really actually find out maybe too much about what I was thinking when certain people are on. And I found one commonality is, and I have it with late night show hosts, when Kimmel, your ex, was on my show, I was really nervous. When Will Ferrell was on, I was really nervous. I get nervous around really accomplished, great dude comedians for some reason, because I think I'm kind of situationally humorous. I'm not a comedian. I'm maybe situationally humorous. And so I feel self-conscious about trying to be, you know, funny in front of these guys. And then I start sweating, and then my EP in my ear is like, lip, which, you know, so if you ever, and then I get the tweets that are like, oh my God, look at you, it's so bad tonight. But the late night, you know, it's, another thing is the late night show hosts, I wound up interacting with all of them within the course of last year. And so it's wild, when you go on each of their shows, there's a different kind of vibe on each of their shows, and they all have a different routine beforehand. When you go on Fallon, he knocks on the door really quick right before you go on, and he comes in, and he's all high energy and great, and then the woman's like, Jimmy, we gotta take you out after like 45 seconds, and it's so good, and you're like, ooh, that's so great. And then Leno comes in, and he like sits down, and you have a really long talk, and you're like, oh my God, like this is a really long talk. And then Letterman, I kind of put my foot in my mouth, and I made a bad kind of joke, and I feel like I bombed and I banished from the show. But I was on Conan tonight before this, and I really bombed. Don't watch it tonight. It was so bad. No one knew who I was in the audience, and it was so bad. And then right when it ended, he goes, that was great, that was great. And I was like, oh no, he's overcompensating because it was so bad, but it's cool.
Why do you think what do you think things fell flat? You didn't feel like people, it wasn't
Yeah.
like this kind of crowd that knows you.
Yeah, it wasn't my people, it was not, it was bad. Anyway, it's cool. I'm here with you now.
Let's talk more about it.
Let's talk more about it.
Do you have a favorite? I mean, Jimmy's one of your close friends.
Yeah, Jimmy's a buddy of mine, so I love him. Yeah, he's great. He's got such great energy, and he's so fun. He's like Marmaduke, the dog, the cartoon. He's like Marmaduke, wouldn't you say? Like.
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like anyone who's put off by him at first, people. I feel like America knows him now, but like in the beginning, and I'm not saying that was a thing, but it was only because it didn't seem possible that he was really this guy, and he's 100% really this guy.
100%.
He's like so interested and so into and so fascinated and so happy and so tickled, and you know, it's real.
You have to go to audience questions in a minute.
I do?
Because yes, I've been watching the time.
All right, can I just see if there's any...
In like 3 minutes.
Can I just say a couple things that I may have...
Yes, and you can do what you want. See, I'm like a backseat driver.
No, I need it. I can't believe...
But she asked me to watch the time.
I did ask you to watch the time. Oh, look at this page of notes.
Oh.
All right. Oh, I love that your parents went on a tour of Auschwitz, and it reminds me of my favorite joke.
They went on a tour of Nazi hotspots, yes.
Yeah.
They're like, and then my mom's like, we're the only Jews here.
Really? That seems like not okay. And yet, it's good. Well, I have a very good friend, Larry. This is my story, that he and his wife took his daughter, Pearl, to the Museum of Tolerance. They said, well, she's ready, she's 8. And at the end of the tour, they go, Pearl, what'd you think? And she went, I want my birthday party here. But
Pearl, what do you expect? You name your daughter Pearl, she's gonna be a yenta at 8.
She wants her birthday party there.
That is amazing.
But one of my favorite old-timey jokes is...
They throw great birthday parties at the
everybody gets their own identity, and you see if you live at the end.
So bad.
Have you ever heard this joke about the elderly couple, and they go on an Auschwitz, they're doing a Nazi concentration camp hotspot tour like your parents did, and they get in a big fight, And they're not talking the whole time, and they do the tour of Auschwitz, and they get back on the bus, and the husband says, they get back in the bus, and the husband says, "You were right, I was wrong, I'm sorry." And the wife said, "Oh, now you're sorry, now that you ruined Auschwitz for me." Isn't that great? It's a classic. Oh, and the only other thing I wanted to say is, I agree with you about, you mentioned that you checked in on your old show, Project Runway, and I still love it, I still watch it. But oh my God, first of all, they went from Net-a-Porter, is that how you say it? Net-a-Porter?
It's like Mary Kay Cosmetics and the Aldo accessory wall.
Yeah,
I mean,
which I do use Mary Kay.
do
eye
you?
makeup. I just bought their eye makeup remover. I don't know why. And Aldo is where I get my shoes, but it's supposed to be better than me. It's supposed to be high fashion. And then it's like the Mary Kay, and then there's so much of it is infomercial. It's like, it's so many integrations.
I haven't seen it since it left Bravo, but
I
there
still
was
love
one
it.
day when I was flipping around. I write about what I watched on YouTube that night or TV.
Oh,
and-
that's my favorite.
It is?
Because I love that, because you'll look at, like, oh, I watched a bunch of Dick Cavett interviews, and then I watched, like, oh, what did you, it was the
got
greatest
into-
string.
Yeah, during the summer I got into a real hole. One night I watched kind of like 90 minutes of Sandra Bernhard on Letterman from the 80s. and
God,
then
she was the
another
best
night,
guest.
Yeah, another night I watched all the Terry Gars, and then I got
That's
into a
right.
real country, ladies of country music
Dolly,
moment.
right.
Dolly walking in like a thoroughbred to see Kenny Rogers singing some song.
I could go on you. I could go down a 3-hour. Start getting in line at the microphone thing. By the way, let's do this.
All right, there are 2
seamlessly.
microphones on either side.
I can do a 3-hour unlikely friendships.
Yes.
Search on YouTube.
Oh,
Like,
totally.
oh my God, a turtle and a dog. They're best friends. Oh, I'm so excited. We did it. I was great.
You were
That was
perfect.
good, right? Was it everything you wanted?
More.
It's hard. When you go
More.
on his show, he has so many things planned. It's amazing.
You're perfect.
Wow. Let's do this.
Okay, hold on. The mic is not on. Turn Andrea's mic on.
This is Andrea. She's running this ship, so
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
going to
yeah,
tell
yeah.
us how
You
it
can
works.
call her Andy.
Okay, so the shot ski.
The mic is still not on.
Andrea, you were supposed to organize this.
Uh-huh.
I get really cunty when I'm nervous, and backstage I was cunty
Okay.
to like 4 of your friends.
Okay, perfect. It's on
So I
now.
apologize right now.
Okay.
I was
Now.
nervous.
Yes.
Oh my God, one of your friends is on his phone. The
Okay.
gun chopper. He's unbelievable, Jason.
The shot ski will be coming on soon. So Elf from the Montalban will bring on the raffle thing, and you can pick a number, read the raffle number, and the shot ski will come on, and somebody will come up.
We get it.
What, I'm going to do a shot ski with 2 people? I'm doing a shot ski with 2 people? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay,
You
well,
appear-
that's an opportunity of a lifetime.
So
All right, let's do it.
we'll take some questions before, and when she comes on with it. So in the meantime, we can start the questions.
But you got it. We got it. Oh, Andrea, you're a mess. Hot mess.
I
Okay.
mean,
Hip schoolgirl. Go
I'll
ahead.
do.
Thank
I
you.
love your side pony. I
Thank
see it.
you.
I
Just
love
for you,
it.
Andy. Just for you.
Hi.
Hi, my name's Natasha. I'm currently studying film and television management. So your career at Bravo has been a really big inspiration to me. So what's your biggest piece of advice for someone in my position going to college, wanting to do development one day maybe?
Just do what you love. Just as long as you love what you're doing, you will be great at it. And if you want to do development, I feel like you should go work for a show, because I think it's always important to go be in the field and be in an edit room before you go be in an office telling people who are in edit rooms what to do.
Thank you.
Great answer, Andy.
Hi.
My name is Debbie. I'm from Pasadena. I'm a housewife from Pasadena,
Hi,
California.
Debbie. I
Hi.
love a Debbie.
Thank you. Side kind of pony, but ginger.
Ooh, I love a ginger side pony. That's a double.
I did enter your bartending, and I wrote you a really good letter, but that's okay. I'm talking to you now. So here's my question, and this is really funny. I've had Jim Carrey changing in my bathroom at home. I've had Steve Carell, Tina Fey, Steve Martin, all these incredibly Laura Dern famous people in my home. I live in a cool house, and we film in Pasadena. Anyhow, so here's my question. My daughter was in New York working, and she was stretching next to you at Equinox, and we're at Cafe Clooney, sitting next to Seth Meyers, having dinner. I personally want to know.
What's wrong?
Is she too name droppy? Is that what this is?
I've been really name droppy. Let her finish.
I wanted you to, so I can relate with you. So anyhow, what I want to know is this. I get really, believe it or not, embarrassed to, I would never ask for an autograph in my own home or do all that, but I want to know, how do you honestly feel when you're trying to enjoy a dinner and you have all these people that love you? What would you rather have? Somebody let you enjoy your meal or ask for your autograph?
I'm happy to do an autograph. It's cool. No one asked for an autograph. It's really like a
He's
photo.
so nice.
Yeah.
I'm curbing
No.
myself.
I can get a little cranky with like a photo at the wrong
That's
time.
what I want to know, because I
Okay.
think that you
Thank
have
you,
so many
Debbie.
amazing
The
fans.
best is when it comes with a really long speech.
Poor Debbie. I'm on your side, Debbie.
Hi, my name's Jennifer. I love you, Andy. You're my favorite, Sarah.
Love you, Jen.
I have a question I'm not sure you can answer, but who is your favorite housewife and your least favorite and why? Current or old?
I can't do it. There's too many. I can't do it. It's like, you know what? My favorite. I love them all for different reasons. I mean, it's like, I'm a lover, not a fighter. It's true. And at least favorite, it's probably someone who's no longer on.
Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, Andy, welcome to Los Angeles. Sarah, nice to see you. My name is Steve. So of all the male Bravolebrities, which one would you shag, which one would you marry, and which one would you kill? And, no pleading the fifth.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Great question.
Great question. I would marry Derek, Frederick's husband. I would steal him from Frederick. I would shag Apollo. I forgive.
You have to go to jail for that.
That's fine. I like a jailhouse moment. Who would I kill? The problem is
Simon!
Simon.
I say Simon because he
Fine.
was so
Sarah took my
aggressive,
kill.
and he's not.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Are you Jewish?
No, I'm not.
No.
Do you have any Jewish in you?
No, but I'm sure Andy would like some German in him.
But you what?
Would you like some German in you?
I'll sign your book later.
He's German, but did you know his great-grandfather died in Auschwitz? No, he did. He fell off a guard tower. It's a classic. Come on.
So bad.
You're so
Sarah's
bad.
Holocaust humor kills again.
Hey, Sarah, love Sarah, but
timeless.
Andy, I don't have a question. I just have to tell you, we have the same birthday. You're so hot. I love you. If it wasn't for you and my DVR and my husband and kids, I guess, I really wouldn't have a life. But you make every one of my nights and my weekends.
Agree.
And you are the bomb.
Thank you. That's very nice of you. Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Nicole. I'm a mother, wife, grandmother, and I have two questions for you.
Okay.
One is, what's your favorite way to get high? A joint, a bong, or a one-hitter?
You know, weirdly, I mean, I love a bong, old school, but I don't interact with them that much, so I'm gonna just say a one-hitter.
One-hitter, nice. And can I trade you something from my pockets for something from your pocket?
Can you switch something from your
Trade?
pocket?
Yeah,
So I have to give you something of mine?
and I'll give you something.
Oh.
Oh.
This is interesting. Okay, well, okay. Yes. I guess I'm gonna give you money. Here's $1. What? Oh, I thought you were gonna, no, I don't want to take your money. No. Here, you just take my $1. It's fun. Okay. I thought that she was gonna give me a joint.
Yeah. It's very
Here's what I got
misleading.
last night in San Francisco at my book signing. People, I got 5 Snoopies, 2 bottles of poppers, 3 joints, and a bunch of edibles. I'm like, thank you, San Francisco. Very
I've
interesting.
never seen poppers.
Greetings. The Housewives are great, and I enjoy watching each of the different shows. I wondered if there might be, at some point in the future, a crossover. You know, like,
I think that when the show really starts skidding, and I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon, by the way, I'm very bullish on all of them, we'll just throw 8 of them on an island, or like a train or something.
Hey guys, Sarah, you look really nice tonight.
Thank you.
And Andy, I like those fresh shoes. So here's my question for you. On the Jersey reunion, as a journalist, I didn't feel you were very aggressive with Teresa Giudice. And my specific question is, you asked her if she knew what she was signing, and she was up for about 30 charges of fraud. And she signed fraudulent bank documents which require notary, and her answer was, I didn't know what I was signing, and you let that go. And I'm wondering why.
I feel like I had already done this one-on-one interview with her, which was a long time that we sat there, and I felt that she was quite limited in the information that she had processed in her mind or was willing to give me or was coming up in her brain. And so specifics were not anything that I was getting. And so it just, having interviewed her several times about kind of specifics of the case, I think the truth of the matter is I think I had kind of given up by that point. And I think on the reunion, she was so kind of zoned out and in another place that I felt like I had reached the limit of what I was going to get out of her.
Okay,
So,
thank you,
it's
I
the
appreciate
truth.
it.
And how often do you know what you're signing? I'm fairly bright, and I have no fucking clue what I'm signing most of the time.
Thanks for
I can
coming
see
to
you
LA.
trusting
Thank you.
around
Thanks.
you.
Thanks.
Hi guys, thanks for the awesome evening. I just wondered, Sarah, at any time in your career, have you ever woken up to Bill Cosby leaving the room?
I did get, he's very famous for giving comics lectures on not being dirty.
Did he lecture you on not being dirty, Bill
He
Cosby?
did, but I was unconscious, and he was talking about my asshole.
Thanks.
That's funny. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you? I'm really excited. I'm trying to calm down. Sarah, first I have to apologize to you because I called into the show when you were on Andy's show, and everyone got a big laugh because it sounded like I was more excited to talk to Andy than I was to you, but I was equally excited to talk to both of you. It just came off like I was...
Thanks for finally apologizing.
I felt like I had to... I had to get that off my chest. Thank you.
Well, tonight it is Andy's night to shine,
Okay.
so go ahead.
You look amazing, both of you. Andy, you asked this question a lot to guests on your show. Was there a moment when you felt like you just kind of stopped and paused and looked around and felt like, wow, I've made it, or this is a big event, or what sticks out in your mind?
I think when Watch What Happens Live got picked up 5 nights a week, that was a very big deal to me. I felt like this is now what I'm really going to be doing, and it felt, the show to me is so personal, and it's such an extension of me. It really is, it feels like it couldn't be more me if, you know, it's just very me. And so I felt very like a moment of acceptance. And then I think with both books that I've done, it's so personal writing a book, and I love writing. I love it, and it's a great extension, and it's, my friend Bruce is here, who is in the book on every other page. And poor Bruce has had to listen to me talk about this book for the last year. It's like, the book, the book, the book. You know, I just carry on about it. And so it is so personal in an well, I mean, I guess it's obvious why it's personal that you write a book about yourself, and it's so self-centered and whatever. But so I think just the books and the success. I mean, yesterday actually was a great day. It debuted on the New York Times bestseller list yesterday, and I was like, I just, you know, so then. Thank you for asking.
Thank you so much. I love
I
you guys.
appreciate it.
You
Thank
do. You always appreciate everything you have, and you deserve to have your own bathroom in your
Thank
office.
you.
It's not acceptable, Andy. It isn't. And I've been so saturated with you these days that I dream about you. And in my dream, you had your own office that you had to get to with a key.
Wow.
You at least deserve a bathroom.
Wow. Thank you.
I just wanted to first say congratulations on your New York Times bestseller. And
Thank you.
Sarah, I have a little girl crush on you. But Andy, I wanted to ask you, being super shallow and going for the marry, shag, kill on the Housewives. Which of the Housewives would you marry, shag, kill?
Well, you have to give me 3. I can't
Okay,
just.
well, just which out of the whole series?
Well, no. I
Okay,
can't do
how
that.
about for Beverly Hills? Since we're in
You're just giving me all of them
any
from Beverly
3.
Hills?
Who? No?
Okay, well, it's what? Kenya, Nene, and Kim? I'm going to do that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because I need 3.
Yeah,
I'm going to shag Kenya, Nene, and Kim. I'm going to shag Kim because I am a titty man. I'm going to marry Nene because I think it would be entertaining, and I'm going to ixnay Kenya, though I really like her. Thank you. Smattering of applause. Hi.
Hi, Andy. You are just so adorable. If my son was gay, I would have brought him here to meet
Thank you. Give me a shot at him. Maybe I can turn him.
Well, he is a gingy.
He's a ginge?
He is.
You know I love a ginge.
I know you do. And Sarah, you're so smart and amazing. Just love you.
Why can't I fuck your son? I'm sorry, what's your question?
Nice
doll?
Jewish boy. Okay, so I know.
A Jewish ginge?
Yes.
There's lots of them out there.
So.
There's swarms
I like
of them.
the 2 bears right here.
I know that you would love to have Howard Stern on Watch What Happens Live, but he kind of shut you down.
Yes,
on
he
his
shut
show.
me down twice.
So, top 3 people who you really would covet to get on your show.
There's so many. I mean, there's so many people who haven't done the show. And I will say, I mean, I always want Sarah back because it's a holiday when she's on the show.
Oh, my God.
But I would say Michelle Obama, Madonna, and Beyonce.
You know, do you have public tickets for Watch What Happened Live?
We don't.
You don't?
We need to figure it out. There's 22 seats. It's a closet. It's a nightmare. It's like.
Okay. Thanks.
If you go to CharityBuzz.com, there's always tickets up there, and they sometimes go for really expensive, and sometimes no one realizes that there's an auction going on, and it goes for cheap. So
Okay, great.
that's my
Thank
secret.
you.
Hi.
Hi. So my name's Kristen. I'm from San Diego. Sarah, I actually did see you last time you were on Bill Maher. So interestingly enough, talking about him.
Sarah has the intellectual capability,
Right.
and I don't.
Right. Andy, I was in college when Real Housewives of Orange County premiered, and my roommate was actually dating a guy from Coto de Casa, so we just got really into the show right away. So my question for you is, which housewife has been the biggest surprise to you?
Wow. Wow. I mean, they all have in a really different way, and I just will go back to the OG of the entire thing, Vicky Gunvalson, who really, if you look at it, has just been through hell and back. And I really, so you just always have to go back to her because, Vicky.
It is always interesting who they pronounce themselves to be emphatically is never.
No.
Who
And
they
that's
are.
been the thing. I think that's been one of the reasons we keep watching. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Kristen, and I'm wondering, I love the show so much, and I love
Speak
what's going
into the
on.
microphone a little more because we can
And I
barely-
love what's going on the show.
Try
and
to get
it's
the
so
words
much
to come
fun.
out of all the way out of your mouth. Push. I'm sorry,
No.
Andy.
Should I go on?
Yes,
You're doing
yes,
great.
go
I
on.
apologize.
No, it's good. It's
I
good.
was
We
I
love
was
you.
being a jerk. though.
We love
You're
you.
So, you're wonderful.
We accept everything.
Okay. Well, I don't want the show to end. And every show on television eventually jumps the shark. And what are you going to do after that?
Well, I mean, you're bringing me down.
She's like right along with your mother. Worst case
I don't
scenario,
know.
Betty.
I don't know. I mean, I want it to keep going too. I keep watching so it doesn't go away.
Okay, you promise?
I promise. I mean, yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. I agree.
That is another Howard parallel of like, that is a fear of like,
how would
what's
that
going to
happen?
happen
What
when
would
you
that
go
look like?
away? You can't go away.
No,
We
I
need
don't.
You.
You know, I think about it with Howard because the great thing that we do have of Howard, and I cannot believe the archives that they have, because I listen all weekend and all the time, and just that it goes back and back and back. It's like we're so grateful that we have all those hours that I can listen to a random show from 1995.
I know, but I don't like the Jackie years.
Oh, I know. Hi.
How you guys doing? Great night. There's a reason behind this question. Would you ever do another wedding in the clubhouse?
I love you for asking. I wrote about the wedding that we did, and it was a little, I wrote about it. But would I ever do another? I married a couple on the after show once live. We've had some proposals. So, I mean, I would do it. Are you looking to marry someone in the clubhouse?
Yeah, actually, I have an interesting story. About 1.5 years ago, my fiance's back there. We met on Tinder. And so we would die. It would be just the dream of our lifetime to get married in the clubhouse.
Well, when you get your book signed after, give me your info, and I'll bring
wow.
it back to New York, and we'll figure out a way to make it happen.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Sloan. I just got really nervous. My girlfriends and I sat at dinner playing Jewish geography, trying to figure out how somebody might know you. And so for my friend, I'm gonna let you know her aunt goes to temple with your parents. But my question is that on the reunions this year, I feel like a lot of the housewives are kind of turning on you and asking you questions about yourself, and it makes me really mad. But they're kind of scapegoating on you. And how does that make you feel? Because they're kind of biting the hands that fed you, fed them.
I think it's. I think you're talking mainly about Ramona, who was like, "Who are you sleeping with tonight, Andy? What are you doing?" And I felt very good about my comeback.
It was excellent.
Me too.
Yes, which was when I go on a reality show about my life, I will tell you all about who I'm schnupping. And this book is as close to a reality show as I think I'll probably ever get. But how I feel about it is, I think I've gotten more. I used to try to be just as neutral as possible, and I think I've gotten a little more comfortable getting a little shady and getting in the mix a little bit. So that's what's happening. I mean, if you push Daddy, Daddy's gonna push back.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm from Orange County, and I'm such a huge fan, so this is a really big moment for me. I'm kind of nervous. My question is actually for Wacha. I was wondering what his Real Housewife tagline would be.
Oh my God. What would Wacha's Real Housewives tagline be? It would be, "Hey Andy, I'm not John Bonet. Stop trying to make me famous." I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think we have 5 more minutes, by the way, because I'm looking at my clock. Yes.
Hi, my name is Jim. I live in West Hollywood right now, and I read your first book, and I loved it.
Thank you, Jim.
And I'd like to ask, how's Blouse, the housekeeper?
Thank you for asking about Blouse.
Touched me.
I love you. If you read Most Talkative, you will know that our housekeeper growing up, her nickname was Blouse, and it still is, and I will be seeing her next week when I'm in St. Louis. And she has worked for and with my family. She's a member of my family. And we nicknamed, it's the weirdest nickname, but she was staying with my sister and I when my parents were on vacation somewhere, and we loved how she pronounced the word blouse. And it was like blouse or something, and we call her Blouse, and it's so weird to everyone else, but it just makes sense to us. And she's wonderful, and I love her, and she will, yes, and she appears in this book a couple times.
Awesome. then one
Thank
other
you for
question.
asking.
One other question. You never mentioned Nina and Cliff from All My Children.
I never mentioned Nina and Cliff.
I think so. Did you
I
follow
love
them?
Nina and Cliff.
Okay.
And, you know, I couldn't get over that Nina had one of those mouths where her lip never touched her bottom lip. And Russell Brand was on my show last night, and he has a lip that doesn't touch his bottom. And then Cliff, apparently I'm doing a signing tomorrow, and I got word that Peter Bergman is maybe going to come to the signing. So that's crazy. Anyway, so
Thank you.
thank you. I think we have time for 2 more questions.
Hi, my name's Celine. I'm a big fan of both of yours, but I have a question for you, Andy. What did Jim do at the reunion to freak you out?
He was just being very belligerent, Jim Marchese, to all of the he was just being very belligerent and offensive, and I knew, because I had read all the Twitter. Twitter is like this great focus group for all of us, but for me, I sit and I read what all of you are saying about the shows while they're going on, mine and the Housewives, and so I knew how everyone felt about him, or how a lot of people on Twitter felt, so that's why I was really kind of pushing back at him in an intense way, but he was just being offensive. Last question of the night. And I'm going to sign books after, so please buy books, and I would love to meet you and sign your books and everything. Hi.
Hi, my name's Amy. I'm from Man Diego.
Hi. Oh, Amy from Man Diego.
Yes.
Push the microphone down so we can hear
Sorry,
you.
I'm short. Okay. I just wanted you to know that you are my Susan Lucci.
Thank you.
My question to you is, if the Andy Cohen Diaries was made into a movie, who would you want to star in that film?
If the Andy Cohen Diary, well, let's just say it. When the Andy Cohen Diaries is made into a movie, I would want Mark Ruffalo to play me. Yes, because he and I feel that we favor each other a little bit.
Yes.
Thank you, Sarah, so much. Thank you guys so much. You made me feel so good. Please get the book, and I'll sign it after. I really appreciate it. This has been so. Thank you, Sarah Silverman.
Thank you. I know everyone's gone. That was so fun.
I hope I wasn't too much of a backseat driver.
I needed
Okay, good.